Welcome to my top 10 most anticipated and noteworthy comics for April 24th, 2024. I'm Mike Spider Slayer. Welcome back to Comic Book Corner 2.0. Hopefully this list does help you make decisions on what comic books to buy, because it's never too early to start that pull list for next week. So before we get into it, guys, I just gotta give a quick shout out to Whatnot. If you guys have not tried Whatnot yet, what are you waiting for? There is a link in my description box below. It's absolutely for free. When you click the link, you create your profile and you win your first auction on Whatnot. You're gonna get a $15 credit. So if you're looking for a comic book, or if you're a collector of Pokemon cards or any other type of thing out there, check out Whatnot and save yourself 15 bucks. So here we go, guys. The first book that we're going to be talking about that's on the hot seat today goes to Dick Tracy issue 1. That's right, Dick Tracy returns in an all-new ongoing comic book. Now, I've never been a really, huge Dick Tracy fan. You know, I was never a fan of the movie back in, the late 80s, early 90s or whatnot. But this looks a little bit more gritty, a little bit more modernized with a, classic feel to it. So I'm like, you know what? Why not give it a try and see what happens? What's the worst that can happen, right? I don't like it, and then I'll read it going forward. So this book is 32 pages, and this one is $5. But the book that's on the rise goes to the Avengers. This is issue 13. This is the Avengers versus the Stark Sentinel program, right? So all of Orcus's Sentinels are closing in on the floating city in the sky that the Avengers has created. We now know the grand scheme of things when it comes to Orcus in general, if you've been reading X-Men and Iron Man as well. So this series was much improved based off of just that last issue alone. We actually get to see the Avengers work together to take on a common threat, and then we get to see, Iron Man in there as well, as he's part of the Avengers, of course. And so hopefully from this point forward, Avengers becomes a solid title once again. So this one is legacy numbering 779, 28 pages, and this one is $4. So let's officially kick off this countdown with number 10. We have Blade issue 10. This is Blade versus the Adania round 2. Fatality. Yeah, so finally, guys, this is the final issue of Blade. I'm sure, obviously, this is going to eventually lead into Blood Hunt. That's why this whole thing is ending. But this whole series has been, accumulating to this battle here. We've seen Blade power up throughout the series as he took on Adania in the first place and pretty much lost. He got his ass handed to him, right? So now he's been looking for resources, way to beat her, and we'll see what happens with this final battle. It's been a fun series, great artwork, 28 pages, $4. Coming in at number 9, we have Spider-Punk Arms Race issue 3. This is obviously, this is the book where I did not think it was going to be that great, because I wasn't a huge fan of the first volume of this, but this one's been a lot better because it kind of has that horrific tone to it, and the artwork I've also have appreciated as time has gone along, and we've also gotten to see, Spider-Punk face Dr. Octopus in this, and he, Dr. Octopus has taken on Justin Hammer and basically killed him to take matters in his own hand to create his own, Dr. Octopus Sentinel thing. It's pretty wild out there, but it is a fun book, and this one is 28 pages, and this one is $4. Coming in at number 8, this is The Amazing Spider-Man issue 48. This book always tends to go up in the ranks when there's no event attached to it and John Romita Jr.'s artwork is not in it, right? So in this issue, we're going to see Peter Parker face Ben Reilly once again, and obviously we get to see Hallows Eve in there. They met face to face at the last page of the last issue. We got some really good artwork in that last book as well, and unfortunately, this is going to be leading into Spider-Man becoming the Green Goblin himself. It looks like once again he's going to be taking on the sins of Norman Osborn, and he's going to go through a complete transformation. We'll see what happens when that time gets there, but you know what? The last issue was really cool again, as we got to see Peter go out on this date, and there were some fun elements there, so it was improved. Legacy numbering 942, 28 pages, and this is a $5 comic. Coming in at number 7, we have Green Arrow issue 11. So, we got to see Amanda Waller in this comic book give Ollie a task, and that was to go to the confessional and retrieve the mask. And she originally sent Roy in there, and Roy got lost. Well, when Ollie said, all right, I'm going to go after him, what happens is he comes across him, and he fights him at first thinking it was an illusion because of the confessional, and then he comes to a realization that Ollie was real. Also, Ollie reunited with all the Arrow family members, and there was a lot of hugging and stuff like that, and now, you know, you were left with a cliffhanger of them battling this hologram Justice League type of stuff. Was the last issue the best issue? No, but it is a well-written book. It is a lot of fun. The artwork is really great, and I always say it, it's great to have a Green Arrow book once again, where for the longest time we did not have one. This one is 32 pages, and this one is $4. Coming in at number 6, we're going to have Wolverine issue 48. This is the Sabretooth War part 8. We're going to see Creed versus Creed. There's, so many different Sabretooths in this book. They all come from different Earths. They all don't get along. Sabretooth has basically got to chop off their heads and put like remote controls on them to control them. We get to see Laura, who was captured. She's escaping from the prison. Wolverine is depowered and looks like he's going to have a adamantium armor. There's a lot of exile stuff going on in this comic, which is the one thing I don't like about it. But overall, it's been a great series, and when there's fighting and there's action, there's a lot of gore, which is cool. This one is 28 pages. This one is $5. Coming in at number 5, we have Something is Killing the Children. This is issue 36. So I think this one was delayed a week because I talked about this one previously. So I'm excited for Something is Killing the Children to return. We're going to learn more about Erica Slaughter's past, which is great because it adds layers to the character and makes you care about her as a character. So when maybe something happens to her in the future, you get the feels, right? You get that sad vibe, or when she goes through those certain situations. But I love this comic book. For some people, they may have dropped off of it, but this is a great and well-written comic book. This one is 32 pages, and this one is $4. Coming in at number 4, more horror here. This is like classic horror. This is Creature from the Black Lagoon Lives. This is issue 1. This is a mini series, and this is going to be exciting. This is, I think, done by Dan Waters and Ram V, I think. There's a different bunch of people in here, and Matthew Roberts from Manifest Destiny. If he's the artist, if that was the artist there, then that's pretty cool. So this is going to be years after, I think. I think this is going to be a more modern tale of the character, which I'm excited for. And again, I love horror-inspired comic books, especially from the classic creatures like, Dracula, which we've already seen, Frankenstein, Werewolf, and now we're going to get the Creature from the Black Lagoon. Crazy stuff, man. Looking forward to it. 32 pages, $5. Top 3 now. Here we go. This is it. The conclusion to Duke. This is issue 5. So it looks like in this issue, Duke has infiltrated the Mars base. That's where Destro is. He's the one that's in control of all the weapons and things like that. He's the one that created, again, the weapons for Cobra in the future. And in this issue, it looks like he's going to be doing battle against the Bat androids. So I think that's going to be cool. I don't know how this whole thing is going to end, and will we see a continuation of it in the future, or is it going to take place in a massive story when like Transformers, G.I. Joe, and everything comes together? Who knows? Very excited for this one. 32 pages, $4. Moving on to number 2, we have Feral issue 2. Issue 1 was great as we have a cat version of like Stray Dogs, right? Instead of this time around is that they're inside a house with an owner, they're released out into the wild and they're dealing with a rabies outbreak. We got introduced to the different cats in this comic. One of them is infected. How is it going to affect the other characters? Who knows? But I think this is going to be a great adventure, and this one is not a mini-series, guys. This one is an ongoing one, so I'm looking forward to it. This one is a $4 comic. All right, guys, so before we hit number 1, don't forget we're going to have those noteworthy comics to talk about, because there might be something on here that's not on this list that you might need to be reminded to go to the comic shop and pick up that day. So my number 1 most anticipated comic for the week goes to Ultimate Spider-Man issue 4. Who is the Green Goblin? Peter Parker's secret life starts fraying the edges of his personal life. J. Jonah Jameson and Ben Parker's pursuit of the truth, or at least the news, stirs their earnest with the world at large. And now that Spider-Man may not have to operate alone, the real work of rebuilding this corrupt world can begin. So is Spider-Man going to be working with the Green Goblin, which is Harry Osborn? Is he truly a good guy in this series? We're not sure. It could be this like undercover thing, and Harry is like, you know, has his own plan up in place and he could betray Peter at any time. Because remember, Peter's very gullible. He's a rookie superhero, and you know, he just might not get it quite yet, right? All the character interactions in this comic are absolutely phenomenal. I love the kids. I love the Mary Jane. I love Mary Jane in this comic. The best Spider-Man comic on store shelves right now. Pick this one up, guys. 28 pages, $5. Here we go. Noteworthy comics, starting with Marvel Comics. We have Daredevil. This is issue 8. Followed by Gods. This is issue 7. We have the continuation of Rise of the Powers of X. This is issue 4. Next, we have Superior Spider-Man. This is issue 6, which Spider-Boy is possessed by Dr. Octopus now, so that's kind of weird. We have X-Men Forever. This is issue 2. We have Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, issue 3. Followed by Wolverine Madripoor Nights, issue 3. Then we have Jackpot and Black Cat, issue 2, which I'll buy that just for that cover. Then we move on to DC Comics. We have Detective Comics, issue 1084. Next, we have Flash. This is issue 8. Followed by Harley Quinn. This is issue 39. We have Power Girl, issue 8, as this is a tie-in story to the House of Brainiac. Then we have the Penguin, issue 9. And then we move on to those indie comics, where we have the continuation of World Tree. This is issue 9. Followed by Conan the Barbarian, issue 10. We have Dawn Runner, issue 2, which I missed out on this one. Then we have Spectrograph. This is issue 1. We have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Saturday Morning Adventures. That's issue 12. And for the Red Sonja fans, we have Red Sonja issue 10. And then we have Mighty Morphin Power Rangers issue 119. So there you have it, webheads. There are my top 10 most anticipated and noteworthy comics for April 24th, 2024. Guys, I want to know in the comments below what you're most excited for. And of course, if you love my content, there's more content right here. And guys, as always, support the local comic shops. Keep buying, keep collecting, but always remember to read your comic books so we can have some great comic conversation. Guys, thank you so much. I'll see you real soon. Bye.